Welcome back to another episode of Two Parents in a Podcast. Today is, well, it's a great day because I'm in the fall mood. Been looking at pumpkin patches and Halloween costumes all day. But we're going to do a breastfeeding, pumping, eating solids like consumption. We're going to have a consumption episode. Is that
a recap, a 12-month recap.
Yes.
Kind of sticking on that theme.
Month by month of how it was.
Yeah, well, this feels like something that you've talked a lot about consistently throughout the journey and throughout prior episodes. And so I think it'll be really interesting to hear you bring it all together here today.
Well, it consumes your every thought, right, as a mom. So it's like all we talk about. Like today, the neighbor mom and I were texting constantly about like what kind of milk we're going to buy. Right? Like feeding your kid is such an important thing, but the breastfeeding, it's a bunch of unknowns. So we're going to dive into it. We're going to break it down month by month and it's going to be great. But before that, we're obviously going to sit here and shoot the SHIT.
I was wondering why we didn't do like the pre-intro. Like normally we kind of do the banter before. We just went right into it today.
Do you want to know what I'm upset about?
I'd love to hear.
And I'm not big on pop culture.
Okay.
Shocked, floored, and beside myself that Keith Urban, okay, I'm blanking on her name.
Nicole Kidman.
I like know her so, yeah, Nicole Kidman. I cannot believe they broke up. I'm shocked.
Me as well.
I couldn't even have told you that they were together.
They're like
20 years?
Yeah, one of Hollywood's longest standing couples.
And like a real couple, and they were kind of out of the spotlight a bit. Didn't they like live in Nashville?
I think they lived in Australia.
They have their kids. Like they're just a cute.
And do we know what happened?
Well, the only thing I saw was he said 6 months into their marriage, his addiction got in the way and started causing them lots of problems. I don't know if he ever handled it. I don't know what happened, but I just thought they were a really cute family. I don't know. In Hollywood, if you make it 20 years, don't you just kind of go the whole way? I guess not. I don't know. I was really sad to see. I was just really sad for them. So I hope everything's okay.
Very sad, but I could not pick that man out of a line.
But you could pick her out.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe they stuck it out for the kids, you know? Like maybe one kid just went to college. A lot of times you see that. Like parents stay together until kids go to college. So maybe it was something like that. I don't know. But nonetheless.
Look at that, our pop culture pod.
This is a I was just really, really sad about it. I don't have any takes on it, but I'm just sad about it. The other thing I want to talk about is I am completely paralyzed by Halloween costumes. I ordered Tate a Soli because okay, TikTok shop is killing me. I hate to tell you this. I did so good and I like wouldn't buy her outfits. I think there's truly 7 or 8 outfits arriving to the house. They're not Halloween costumes. They're fall themed. They're pumpkins. They're like, I don't know. I'm just like obsessed with it. But here's the thing. On TikTok shop, they had this really cute Soli outfit for a 1-year-old. And I clicked on it and it said there was only one left in stock. So I bought it. I was operating out of fear. Then I realized that happens to me all the time. There's always one left in stock. And I think they tell everybody there's one left in stock. So you have a scarcity mindset and you press buy. So we had the Soli arrive to the house. She's not going to be Soli, but I just wanted to have it in case.
What do you think she's going to be?
If I the 1-year-old outfits are so cute. The little and the little they make mini. They're truly adorable.
So I don't think we want to ruin what we're going to make.
She's not going to be any of these things.
I think she's going to be I think her and Winnie are going to be I think it's the perfect. And we can be a man. That's the outfit.
Okay, maybe just believe it. It's really kind of cute. Keep it in.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's such a good idea.
I thought about doing it for her and Winnie because you can make them custom.
Okay, this is done.
And we're early enough to order it.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't tell you about it. I can't tell you how many costumes I've looked at. I was really hyper-fixated on food because she was a hot dog last year.
We crushed the food last year. What food options were there?
Well, there's a sushi roll.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny. But then, like, what are we? A chef, I guess?
Yeah. No.
There's a sushi roll. There is a... There's a ketchup and a mustard, but there was another cuter one. Not a ketchup, not a mustard. Oh, I can't remember. There's a pretty cute chicken outfit on Etsy. It's adorable, honestly. But then, like, what are we? You know?
Farmers.
Farming the chicken? Oh, I guess just...
We're farmers, and she's the chicken on our land.
Winners is an egg.
I could be an egg.
Oh, you can be an egg.
I could be an egg.
You could be an egg.
And then you could be the farmer with the thing. You know, the old school photo of the guy with the pitchfork.
Yep.
Okay, the last thing I want to talk about off the top that I've been thinking a lot about is our neighbor has a bow and arrow in his backyard. Like, he has an archery set. And we went over and we did it one day, and it was really fun. And I've really been thinking maybe I want to get one. I've been having a craving to go back over there and do it.
Okay, a bow and arrow craving.
And then I remembered I used to do archery back at camp when I was little, and I was pretty good at it. Those bow and arrows were easier, though. His is real.
I was going to say, how did you do on the one you shot?
Well, I didn't do well with his, because his is a real one.
You hit the target?
No, you did. Is this what you want me to say? You
No,
want me to,
no,
you
no,
want me
I
to
was
ask
asking.
you? You
I
want me to ask
forgot.
you back?
My
How'd
memory
you
isn't
do?
My memory isn't good.
Also, I need to tell you, on October 12th, we're going to a pumpkin patch.
I got the invite.
With all the girls. I sent you a calendar invite.
I thought it was only one family you had on there.
Because I didn't want to type all the last names, so I just figured if I put one last name on there, boom.
It's so funny. I was going to message them being like, oh, I love this.
No, it's my mom group text. Okay, one last thing I've been really thinking about doing, and I typed out the text message, but I didn't press send.
Okay.
But in my mom group text, I wanted to invite everybody over for coffees on Friday morning.
Oh, I love this. Like the families or just the girls?
Whoever can come. Just like come hang out and have coffee Friday morning.
Ooh.
At 9. I thought 9 to 10. A coffee situation.
This is a great idea.
I don't know if people can do it though. Like with I don't know everyone's schedule, but I could at least toss it out there. Toss it out there into the ether. No?
I think it's great. I think that start the workday a little late or maybe do some work beforehand, take a little carb out and have a little social gathering. I'm very supportive of it.
How are you? Let's get a fitness update with you.
Well, I really like how you're carrying the energy of this episode. I feel like I'm like being it's like, okay, didn't know any of this was happening. So I'm just kind of like, where are we going next?
Oh, we got to tell them what we're doing tonight. I Googled it. Okay. So I saw this video and it said, if you take your baby to Nordstrom, they have like a first shoe party, kind of. So they take a little Polaroid photo of your baby getting their first shoes. They put it in a little red envelope. And so I Googled it and I said, does every Nordstrom do this? It says, yes, every Nordstrom in the USA and the great country of Canada also participate in this.
Okay. Amazing.
And they measure your baby's foot, and then based on their measurements, they recommend shoes at the store that would best suit them. It said online that they give you a free pair of shoes. I don't think they do that.
Bubba and shoes is going to be electric.
So Maria today, okay, so Tate's walking, and she's walking like, like she can walk like 15, 20 feet.
She's very good.
And she falls. But right now she's in the phase where she walks with her arms straight out, and I thought she has to be a mummy for Halloween. But by the time Halloween's here, she'll be using her arms better.
Okay.
But a mummy, like we are in the mummy phase, and it would be perfect. But anyways, we're taking her to Nordstrom's to get the shoes, and I just thought we're really lucky to live near Nordstrom.
I don't even know there was one close to us.
Well, there's one at the Domain.
Okay. I thought that was a Neiman Marcus.
There's both there. Good for you.
Okay.
The Domain has a lot. We have great shopping in Austin.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we're going to take her to get shoes. Okay, so Maria, though, today she brought these things, these little pink, they're like sock-like. They go like halfway up their calves, and on the bottom they have rubber, like, it's
Surfaces.
like a sock shoe.
Yeah.
Kind of like a scuba diving material.
I think it's for their grip.
Yes. They are so cute. Bubba can't figure them out, though. She falls in them. They're so cute. I don't know what you call them, sock grippers.
Sock
With like
shoes.
a rubber bottom.
Yeah, I think she'll figure it out. Just
More
give
than
her
a
a day.
sock. It's so cute.
It's like when you put the shoes on the dog. Do you put shoes on Ginny?
No,
Why not?
she wouldn't be able to manage
It's a lot for
shoes.
them.
That's a lot.
Should we get Jules a gift?
Dog shoes.
Dog shoes for Ginny.
She won't wear them.
She can bring him to Paris.
Perfect.
It is hard though for dogs and babies to learn with shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I do see. Mm-hmm. Okay, do you want to dive into the episode on the milking?
Let's hear it. Following your lead here is
Okay.
your journey.
So it becomes your journey at 6 months, and you're a very important part of the equation because you're the supporting piece.
Well, I guess before we get into this, who is this episode for?
Well, I think it's for expecting moms.
Yeah.
I also think it's for moms in our stage, right?
Yeah.
That have a baby, that are breastfeeding, that want to breastfeed, that are combo feeding, that are about to start solids. Like, anywhere in your feeding journey or about to start your feeding journey, I think this all applies to you.
Okay.
And just even like if you want to be a mom one day.
Or you're just curious about mom things.
Yeah, if you're curious about mom things. If you're curious about what your best friend's going through who's a new mom.
I love it.
Would you say life as a parent is just nonstop? 100%, you guys. Mealtime especially can be a real challenge. That's why I'm so excited about our next partner. They've made serving healthy meals way easier for us and much more enjoyable for our kids. This podcast is sponsored by Nurture Life. It's 2025, guys. Are you still feeding your kids like it's 2005? Nurture Life is a meal delivery service that makes nutritious meals and snacks your kids actually want to eat while giving parents the support they need to. Nurture Life's whole menu is perfect for kids ages 10 months to 10 years old. Their fresh meals and snacks are delicious, nutritious, and fully cooked. That means they're ready to serve in just 1 minute, which is so important because when your kid is hungry, it is like a full court press. Our favorite meal at our house is the sausage and the egg scramble because that's something that we love. We are obsessed with eggies. And so when you add in the meat, it's protein packed and it is beautiful. How does Nurture Life work? It's simple. You choose from a variety of 50 nutritious meals, balanced meals on their menu, from finger foods for babies and toddlers to kids' meals for older kids. Then Nurture Life does the cooking for you, and the meals are delivered straight to your door in refrigerated packaging. So head to nurturelife.com/2parents and use code 2parents for 55% off your first order plus free shipping. That's right, 55% off plus free shipping. Once again, that's nurturelife.com/2parents, and make sure you use our promo code 2parents. Even if you aren't a parent with young kids, you might have a parent friend who struggles with mealtime. So make sure to share our code to a friend. Remember, put your little ones first with healthy meals from Nurture Life. Okay, so the first thing is the no formula mindset. Why did I decide to do breast milk? And here's the thing. I said going into it, I'm going to try breastfeeding. Remember?
Yep.
And before I had her, the idea of breastfeeding kind of like weirded me out. I was like, your boobs are kind of sensitive when you're pregnant. I was like, I don't know how this whole thing's going to go. And then whenever I had her, I was like, no, I really do want to breastfeed her and I want to try to do it. I would say through the course of the 6 months, ended up pumping a lot more than actually breastfeeding her for a lot of reasons. I could never figure out exactly how much milk she was getting. Once I fed her, then I needed to also pump after that, and that was too time consuming. So I ended up being more of a pumper, but I did breastfeed her on flights and at night and throughout, there was a lot of times that I did do it, but I would say overwhelmingly, I liked pumping better.
Yep.
I found it to be way more efficient. But the reason I wanted to try to give her breast milk was simply because I knew the antibodies would help her in the early stages of life. And so I was like, and listen, you guys know I love formula and I love breast milk, but my personal decision, because that's what this podcast is what we decided, was I want to try and do it. So I started, right when you have the baby, you don't actually produce milk, you have colostrum. And they are drinking such a little amount in that hospital. I remember there were so many unknowns, and the first unknown was how the baby truly can drink for 2 minutes and be full max, like maybe even a minute. And they're full. Like their stomachs are so little when they first come out.
Yeah, I thought their stomachs when they come out are the size of a peanut.
Smaller, I think. I thought a pea.
Well, either
Tiny.
way, it's very small.
A tiny, tiny, tiny tummy. So they have colostrum in the first, 4 or 5 days of life. Then your milk comes in, and I remember the night my milk came in. I thought I had the flu. I was sweating and freezing and aching, and I was just like, and it's so wild what your body can do. And then lo and behold, like your body just starts producing milk, and it is the craziest but coolest thing, but it's crazy. Okay, so the first 3 months, we had a night nurse. The night nurse, we say, was primarily for Harrison. Because what we decided to do was Harrison slept through the nights and I got up for the feeds. And the reason we did that was because during the day, whenever I was exhausted and was like, I'm going to lose my mind, he had his mind. And so dividing and conquering, I took nights and he was kind of the lead on the daytimes because I was tired. And that worked out so well for us. Because before she was there, I remember saying, you're going to wake up with me every time I wake up. And then we decided, no, that doesn't make sense because I'm going to start to lose my mind a little. I'm going to be sleep deprived. And so the best play here is for you to get a good night's sleep and then you to put the team on your back during the day. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think that's how it shook out. Definitely going into it, I thought that I would be up with you during the evening feeds to keep you comfortable. And obviously, like, you're doing all the work and all the heavy lifting. And so taking the responsibilities over that I could was obviously the priority and what I wanted to do. And that's how it shook out.
So speaking of like keeping you company, I put myself back in those first 3 months when you're waking up, right? Mm-hmm. And for us, the night nurse is coming and waking me up, and then I'm feeding the baby. Mm-hmm. But the alternative to that, so whenever we didn't have the night nurse, what I would do is I set a timer every 3 hours, and I would wake up, and I would just go in there and see, and then like she would inevitably be hungry at the same time. But the thing is, you have to stay awake for 20 minutes and feed them. And I was just talking to a friend who just had a baby, and she was like, how did you stay awake during the nights? And I said, well, a lot of times I would have the night nurse sit on the floor and talk to me. But then, she couldn't do that all the time. And I remember I would be sitting in bed nodding off, and she said, well, I've heard it's not good to sit in bed. And I said, oh, that would make a lot of sense. Like, put a chair in your room and get out of bed and feed them so you're a little bit more awake. And then she said, I'm going to listen to an audiobook. So one thing I would be interested to hear from the listeners is how they stay awake during the night feeds. Because for me, honestly, remember what happened for a little bit for me?
Yep.
I fell into scrolling. So I am so religious about not looking at my phone before or after bedtime, much less if I wake up in the middle of the night. But I would, in order to stay awake, I started scrolling on Instagram and TikTok in the middle of the night, you guys. I couldn't go back to bed, and my mental health was just like tanking. Like, it is just so bad for you. So I would really recommend against that. Remember I told you, I just admitted, I'm just starting to scroll.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a crazy amount of workload and responsibility to carry. And so, I understand doing whatever kills the time best, and
it would kill it fast. I'll tell you that. That was what was so crazy about it. It would fly by.
Yeah. I really understand why why that's what a lot of people would do and want to do.
Yeah.
You know, one thing we didn't talk about, your planking.
Oh my gosh, Jules, thank you for that. So somebody told me, in order to avoid clogged ducts, if you lean over and pump, then gravity pulls it out, right? So you don't clog your ducts as much. And I thought, I also wasn't working out, so I was like, I'll just start planking. So what I would do in the middle of the night, I remember I would do 1 minute on, 1 minute off for 5 sessions, so 10 minutes total of planking.
I really want to pull up the Nanit monitor and get the old footage of you pumping and planking.
That was oh my gosh. I think back to the newborn phase, and it's really such a blur. Like, looking up pumpkin patches, I was like, we went to all these pumpkin patches. I don't remember them really. It's like so wild.
Totally.
So now let's move on to month 3 to 6. What got...
Anything we missed there? How would you recap months 0 to 3?
A blur. I'm still waking up every 3 hours in the middle of the night to pump or to feed her. So you're sleep deprived. And you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. Like, you have to stay in and around the house. Here's what happened a lot from months 0 to 3 is, I would be taking a nap or something and Tate would get hungry. And so then, like, you have to be nearby, like, in order to feed her. So they're not necessarily on this very rigid 3-hour eating pattern. Sometimes it's 2 hours. Sometimes it's 1 hour. Sometimes they're cluster feeding. And, like, you being the sole source of milk, it was a lot of pressure and it was really hard on me.
Mm-hmm. It was stunning to see just how much added work you took on, and obviously something that I think neither of us expected.
Well, there's a honeymoon phase with it for the first month where you're like, I got this. And then month 2 hits and you think, I really can't go anywhere. I remember being at the proper hotel and we were meeting and I had to go. No, somebody texted me. Maybe it was your mom texted me and was like, she's out of milk, and I had to go to the bathroom. I had to pump it and I had to Uber it to her. And I remember just sitting in the bathroom and I just wanted to start crying and I wanted to scream.
I think that this brings a pretty logical next question, which is, for future babies, will you do anything different month 0 to 3 to take that pressure off? Because it feels like, that was a lot of pressure to put on yourself, and it took a massive toll. So what would you do differently, if anything?
Yeah, it was a ton of pressure. What I would do differently with the next babies is an 80-20 or a 90-10.
Yep.
So, for example, when we went to that hockey game.
Yep.
Yes, to some extent, you need to drain your boobs because it's uncomfortable. So that's one case for needing to pump out in public.
Yeah.
Or breastfeed out in public. But also you're doing it because the baby has to have the food. I would take formula. I would do 80-90% breast milk, the other 10-20% formula. Weddings. We were at a wedding and I'm in the bathroom pumping you're lugging your pump stuff. I wouldn't put so much pressure on myself for it to be 100% breast milk. Because when we got to the 6-month mark and I ended up starting to combo feed, I felt like I got a little bit of my freedom back.
Yeah, I noticed a massive shift in your mindset and just the general toll when you started combo feeding, like the pressure of, and I'd be curious, why did you stick with it for those 6 months? Because looking, as we're having this conversation, logically, it's like, well, why didn't you just go 90-10, 80-20, 70-30, or whatever you chose?
Well, I think one, if you know me, right? I think some of my friends listening to this would be like, if I set a goal, it's why I say I'll never say I'll train for a marathon.
Yeah.
Because then I will truly figure out how to run 50 miles, and I'll be obsessed with my time and my diet. I'm a bit all or nothing.
Yeah.
So that's probably one token of it. But the other token of it was I just saw a healthy, happy baby. And I just was like, I'm not going to change anything. It was almost like superstitious or something.
Okay.
And in reality, the moment we incorporated formula, nothing changed.
Nothing changed.
Not one thing changed.
Mm-hmm. And except your
except
life.
Me. And I sit on here all the time and I preach formula is great. Formula has come such a long way. Bobby Byhart, phenomenal, right?
Hopefully keeps improving and
only keeps improving. And the fed baby, I think, is a happy baby. But for me, I was doing the breast milk thing and I set my goal and I wanted to keep it. And you know what? I'm proud of myself for doing it. I think it's cool that I can say, just for me that I did. But no, I'm not going to do it like that again.
Yeah, I'm proud of you as well in so many different lights.
Thank you. Fall is planting season. Did you know that many plants and trees actually do better when planted this time of year? But you have to know where to start. That's why I love fastgrowingtrees.com. Doesn't matter if you live in the sunny south or if the air is getting chilly where you are. Their plant experts can help you find the perfect fit for your space. You guys, we just got our 2 plants. I am obsessed with them. One's on the front porch and one is in our living room. Truly, when you have plants inside and outside, it brings the space to life. They have all the plants your yard needs, like fruit trees, privacy trees, flowering trees, shrubs, and so much more. They make it so easy to get your dream yard. You order online and get your plants delivered directly to your door in just a few days without ever leaving the home. Truly, I came home and they were on our front porch. It was too good to be true. Big yard, small yard, no yard. They've got over 6,000 plants to fit any space. This fall, they have the best deals for you in your yard, up to half off on select plants and other deals. And our listeners of our show get 15% off their first purchase when using code 2parents at checkout. That's 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com using code 2parents at checkout. Now's the perfect time to plant. Use 2parents to save today. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply. Check out the link below or in the show notes and support the show. The other thing I want to touch on, and I've touched on this a lot, but I am just going to say it again, the DMER situation.
Ooh, DMER.
DMER. which is when your milk, so the mental health side of the breastfeeding, when your milk drops, you also, like your serotonin depletes and you get angry or you get sad for a little bit of time. For me, it was like 1 to 2 minutes. And the thought of putting on this breast pump is daunting. And for me, sometimes it was sadness, sometimes it was anger. And I was just like, I can't do this. And a lot of women have DMER, but some women have DMER, like they've had 4 kids and they said I had DMER with 1, but not the other 3. So it's just something to look out for. But the DMER for me lifted at 3 months. And that's why I was able to keep going to the 6 months, because it felt a lot easier. Like I was like, well, this isn't that bad. Because then it was just a job, right? It's like going to the kitchen to eat. At that point, it was like, put on the pump. Well, I would do it both at the same time. I would make my meal, put the pump on, and then eat for 20 minutes and pump.
Okay.
And it was kind of a nice routine. Now let's get to 6 months.
Okay.
So at 6 months, we start combo feeding. A great day. And everyone asks me, how do I combo feed? I mean, these moms, you guys are like so, is it tactical the right word? They're great. They're like asking me this real questions. And I don't think, I never really thought about some of them. So a lot of them is like, how do you combo feed? I would usually do, if I had breast milk, I used it immediately. So if I had 6 ounces of breast milk, but she needed an 8-ounce bottle, I would use the 6 ounces of breast milk and I would add in the formula. So my mindset was never save breast milk for another day. So I always used it. So sometimes, if I wasn't home a lot, she would have a lot more formula than others.
Well, I found what happened often when we froze it, because there was that period where we did do some freezing, unfreezing it and taking it out of those small plastic bags and pouring it into the bottle, there was often a ton of leakage.
Yeah.
And so you'd be losing milk. It also you kind of, it may get a little lost in the freezer.
You forget about it.
Funny enough, we do have 4 bags of milk in the freezer.
I know, I'm saving it if she gets sick.
Okay. I knew you knew that.
Yeah. No, I know exactly. There are 4, yes.
Okay.
But and they're 4 ounces. But
you know what's also in the freezer?
My placenta.
Her placenta.
My placenta is still in the freezer and it's been a year.
Someone told us to keep this placenta. I have no idea why. What are we supposed to do with this placenta, please?
We're going to plant a tree and we're going to fertilize it with the placenta.
Okay.
From fastgrowingtrees.com.
Fastgrowingtrees.com, which by the way, we got those. They're awesome. I love those plants. So we could get a fastgrowingtrees.com tree, plant it, fertilize it with my placenta and call it the bubber tree.
Okay. Love it.
I mean, that's great. That is exciting. I don't know how. We do need to look up how do you use it as a fertilizer, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I feel like there was some I don't know. I feel like we consistently heard to keep this thing, and it takes up a lot of room in the freezer.
Yeah, it's
and it is
like a rack of ribs times 2.
Very gross. No, I take that back.
Okay, let's go. So at 6 months, we start combo feeding, praise be, and we start incorporating solids. Solids, the way we did it was she ate what we ate. No?
Not initially.
No, initially, you know what? We started her with those Serenity food packets.
We loved the packets out of the gates.
Yeah, the packets because we were so scared.
Yep.
Because they needed to learn how to chew. And I know they're not chewing the packets, but that food can go in their mouth and then they swallow it.
Yeah. I thought they were a really good way for her to understand the basics of eating. Uh-huh. And she liked them a lot. And they're really clean labels.
Really clean labels. And then, so one thing somebody asked me the other day, which was do you care what you feed your kid? And I was just like, yes, I do. I'm not super crunchy in a lot of ways, but when it comes to this food, I'm like, I really do care. And I'm kind of unapologetic about caring because I thought about me. When I eat like crap, I feel like crap. And I have a lot larger system to digest. And they just have these little systems. And I think food can really affect these kids pretty drastically. And so I don't know where we started associating Cheetos with kids, as opposed to give them some carrots. Right now, she doesn't know.
Potatoes.
She doesn't know all these foods exist, all these flavors exist. She eats what we give her, and she loves it. She loves cottage cheese. She loves chicken.
She loves steak. She loves potatoes. She loves sweet potatoes.
Canned green beans,
cheese.
And yeah, so I really, so when it comes to that, I do care what she eats. And
Whole Foods cooked.
Listen, there's going to be a
Soften up.
day where she gets a lot more picky, and we're going to navigate that. But for right now, it's like, yeah, I definitely care what goes in her body.
It's been a fun way to bond with her. And also, like, obviously, as the guy during the breastfeeding cycle, you're on the sidelines, obviously doing whatever you can to support, but like you are not doing any form of the real work and the real heavy lifting. And so that was one component that I was really excited to take over was the food.
Yeah, and you really stepped up when it came to the food, and like you loved it, and you cook for her. You made her bone marrow.
Still do.
Bone marrow, fish, and we did the allergies, and we did, and we had a lot of fun with it. It was also, I remember though, I do want to say this because if somebody's about to approach this phase, the first 3 weeks aren't that fun. Remember, like she doesn't understand how to get food in her mouth, and they don't have that reflex yet where they can pinch things. So you have to feed them long, skinny items because they don't have the pincher yet. They just have the full grasp. Remember?
Yeah, but that's where we really stuck to those Serenity food packets.
Yeah, the Serenity food packets were great. They are a clean label, and they're easy. Like if you don't have time to food prep, like we would take them with us.
Yeah, because making that, and then I think when we started making the food was when she could start eating the food that we could eat.
Yeah.
And it's also pushed us to eat a lot healthier.
Yeah, and we always, like, when we're out, if we order something, we always say, like, immediately, we just say, can you bring us a side of grilled chicken and a side of avocado?
Yeah.
That girl loves that meal.
Yeah.
Oranges. If we're, like, also Dad gets an Aperol Spritz, we say, can we have 17 sides of oranges? And she sits there and eats those. She's a happy girl with that stuff. Sushi restaurants, we get her, like, the little fish, the edamame.
Let's get back on the pumping track. That's what the people are here for.
Well, the pumping.
On the breastfeeding stuff.
Okay, so
I thought you said pumpkin, and I was like, what?
No.
I do want to cut out a pumpkin. Your mom sent me a photo of a pumpkin completely cut out and cleaned out and a baby in it with their little leggies out the bottom.
Bubba would last 3 seconds before losing her mind.
It would be like a lot of work she wouldn't really enjoy it. I do want pumpkin seeds, so I got a big hankering for those.
Okay, we can get those cooking.
Okay. So from 6 months to 12 months, still pumping probably 4 times a day, I would say. Combo feeding and feeding her some solids, but food is fun under one. So food never replaced a bottle.
And what I found so interesting about that is, like, even if she'd eat a whole banana or, have a chicken breast, a full chicken breast, she still wanted her bottle.
Didn't matter.
And she was having a significant amount of food and a significant amount of calories, but she would not drink any less, which I thought was fascinating.
So I do wish somebody just, and people did tell me this, like, forget about dropping a bottle. They have the same amount of bottles. Get her food at least twice a day so she understands how to eat. Mm-hmm. She can chew. She gets texture. She learns how to swallow. So that's what we did from 6 to 12 months. A lot of combo feeding. When we started to approach 12 months, I started to wean off of pumping. I was weaning off pumping, and we were upping her food intake all at the same time. So the way I weaned off pumping was I cut one pump in the middle of the day. So then I started pumping 3 times a day. I did it very gradually because I was really afraid of the hormone crash that can happen if you just, like, cold turkey stop pumping. So I removed one pump, did it for about a week and a half, removed the middle of the day pump, then I was just doing morning and night. And then I cut the nighttime pump, and I only pumped in the morning. And at this point, what I did was I did the cabbage leaves in my bra, a tight sports bra. Remember, I would have literal cabbage leaves in there.
It was something.
I would take Sudafed, and I put Cabo cream that you order online. And it worked. It took me about 3 days. And then, lo and behold, I just stopped pumping. And now the boobs dried up. And then we also went that Thursday. We did our first overnight by ourselves. And I think that also, like, solidified the dry up.
Yep.
But then one night she was crying at 4 a.m. and I went in there to get her and I started leaking. But people say that can happen up to a year. Like, I might have a little milk in me right now.
The body
it's
works
wild.
in mysterious ways.
So we were doing 4 bottles, and then probably 2 weeks ago we cut it. Now we're at 3 bottles. So she has a bottle in the morning, a bottle around 2 to 3, and then a bottle before bed. Today, for the first time, we incorporated real Milky at lunch. Didn't look like it was a big hit, but they did have it. By they, I mean Winnie and Tate. And then we're going to cut another bottle maybe next week. But yeah, they eat 3 full meals a day.
And
so we do bottle, then we do eggs, fruit, and avocado usually.
Eggs have been like a really, really easy go-to because that's what we make in the morning for ourselves. And so just adding that on, and same thing, just incorporating our dinner and making sure we're cooking something that is user-friendly for her.
The meal is usually a chicken or a beef or a salmon. So it's a meat of some kind. And then an avocado or a cottage cheese, and then a fruit or a veggie, yep. I would say is kind of always what the plate is. But this is our grocery like haul pretty much, wouldn't you say? Fruits of any kind. I mean, mainly she loves blueberry, and raspberries are a real hit, and bananas.
Yep, you got to cut those blueberries up so that way she doesn't choke on them.
Cut the blueberries in half. Also, she loves grapes. Cottage cheese, avocados, and then we do meat and chicken.
Yep.
Beef and chicken. And then from there, we get carrots, green beans, little things like that.
Broccoli, cauliflower, etc.
Yeah, but like cottage cheese and yogurt. Oh, lots of yogurt for calcium. And then throughout the day when she's hungry, we always have right now we have meatballs and chicken in the fridge that are cooked. So we chop those up, we grab a fruit, we chop it up, and we give it to her. And I mean, it's just a big time. A big grand old time. This show is brought to you by BetterHelp. October 10th is World Mental Health Day, you guys. And this year we are saying thank you to therapists. Therapists make such a big impact on people's lives. They're a safe space. They're a place to cry. They're a place to make a change. They're a place to move forward. They offer people so much improvement. I always say it's important to play offense, not defense, and having a licensed therapist who makes you feel comfortable can make such a big impact on your life. BetterHelp, they make this so easy to find a therapist. You can do it entirely online. You can switch therapists at any time. They have over 30,000 therapists. BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. And it works with an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews. This World Mental Health Day, we're celebrating the therapists who have helped millions of people take a step forward. If you're ready to find the right therapist for you, BetterHelp can help you start that journey. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/2parents. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/2parents. Okay, so now we're going to do 2 more questions. One is the partner's role in your pumping and breastfeeding journey. And number 2 is what I wish someone would have told me.
So what did I do good and what did I do bad?
What you did excellent during the breastfeeding and pumping journey was you washed my parts every time. If I ever left them downstairs, you went and got them. And you never went to bed before I did. So if I had to stay up and pump for 20 minutes, you stayed up.
Following the night nurse leaving.
Yes, post night nurse leaving. And that was really, really, really helpful. There's not really anything I would get you to change. I thought do you know the other thing you really did? This kind of ties into my what I wish someone would have told me. But I remember a couple moments. So one, for example, when we went to this hockey game in Dallas, the Canucks were in town, and that's the Vancouver Canucks. And Harrison really wanted to go to this game, so we drove up to Dallas. Bubber had a jersey. It was so fun. And we get there, and I'm like, Harrison, I forgot my portable pumps. And I wanted to cry. And he was like, I will take your diaper bag. We will take your pumps. It's a medical bag, so you can take it in. He carried it the whole time, and I had to pump twice while we were there. And you made me feel so comfortable. You never left my side. You would shield me with your jacket, and you were just the whole time you're like, I'm so proud of you. I didn't feel like I was sitting there having to pump. I felt like my partner was like, I'm so proud of you for pumping. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, the what I'm doing in the grand scheme of what you were doing is just so much smaller and so much less work. And so really just recognizing the difference in responsibilities we have and doing whatever you needed to make it as easy for you as possible. I think the one thing I wish I would have done is I wish I would have pushed you on combo feeding earlier.
Yeah, That's interesting you say that, because I think you mentioned it a couple times, and I'm sure I was like, it's my choice. I pick.
Yeah, it was
And
also...
you're like trying to respect me, but also like, come on, girl.
But also, when you said this earlier, and you said like everything was going so good, so it was like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, in terms of like just how happy and healthy she was. Like, going back, I do see that mindset. But then today, seeing how natural that transition to combo feeding was, that to me, like, while in theory you may think like, while in theory it can, think like you just want to do all breast milk and it's more natural and this and that, like the toll, especially for just enougher's and people, which I think is also an important delineation. Like, you were just enougher, so you couldn't build up a supply.
I
and
think
like,
it's huge.
That was just so much to ask.
I would pump one bottle to the T. And this is what was so crazy about the bottle, like the body. I never couldn't produce milk when she needed it. Like, if she was still hungry, 100% we would have had to have grabbed the formula.
Yeah.
But my body, it was like Tate wanted 40 ounces this day. My body made 40.5.
Yeah. Well, I'm very proud of how you handled the past 12 months. And
the other thing I think about was, remember when we went to Aspen? This is just like a bougie, like, because we had to go for a wedding, okay? And we didn't stay at what's the hotel? St. Regis?
Yeah.
We didn't stay there, but we wanted to go, and we wanted to sit, and we wanted to like do happy hour there or something. And we land and we go there, and I'm like, I got a pump. In this lobby, it's just like the people are just decked, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pull out the pump and do it. And I remember you just like shielded me, and the whole time you were just like, I am so proud of you. And I remember just thinking like, I want to crawl in a hole. But actually, I also was kind of like, no one's looking over and being like, I can't believe she's pumping. And you know, a lot of moms would walk by me and they would just like give me the nod, like, been there.
Team mom, you were a champ. You were a total champ.
The mom group is great.
You did so much, and
I had a mom. I had one that I sat by on an airplane, and I told you about it. Remember the sweet little? Where was I coming back from?
Oklahoma City.
Only time I've been was for Sydney's baby shower, so it had to have been on the way back from OKC. And I had that sweet girl beside me, and she was pumping, and I wasn't. And I was just like, "You go, girl." I was so impressed. Okay, so what I wish people would have told me before the pumping journey is how much it's going to hinder you doing things. For example, it's an every 3-hour ordeal. It's mental, it's physical, it's airplanes, it's middle of the night.
Never ending. It's
never ending. So really getting back to any sense of your old self is going to be harder if you're pumping and you're breastfeeding. And if somebody would have told me that, I wouldn't have listened, and I would have said I'm in this newborn bubble anyways.
I guess like where I need to nail the question back to is like, you're taught, like, it feels like this is generally, you're talking about this experience in a fairly negative light. Would we collectively agree? And so why, I guess, like, to push you on it, like, why do it at all?
I'm not trying to talk about it in a negative light. I'm trying to talk about it in an honest light.
Yeah. But like, do you not think what you're saying is going to come off as scary to the listener?
No one messages me and is like, I'm having an easy time. People decide to do it anyways.
Yeah.
Pregnancy sucks.
Yep.
But we sign up for it.
Yep.
So
then why not just go full formula?
So 1 for 1, particle for particle, as pro formula as I am, and I think there are just endless benefits, and I cannot nail home how pro formula I am. Put them both under a microscope, and breast milk is better for the baby. And so that is why I wanted to try and do it. Then you tack on my personality, and that looks like doing it exclusively for 3 months and then getting there and deciding to do 3 more months. Like, that's just kind of a bit about me, No,
and I know this, and I'm just trying to ask it for thinking about it from the listener's perspective.
I think it's good. And here's the thing, like, I'm trying to recount this in an honest light. My feeding journey, it wasn't easy. It was rewarding, and I'm really proud of myself looking back on it. pregnancy's also not easy, right? It's also, training for marathons is also not easy. All of it is rewarding. So I don't mind hard things, but I think it's important to call them hard. And I think mentally your hormones they're shifted. They're not operating at a normal capacity when your body's producing milk. But that's motherhood. That's why the motherhood group, that's why it's the hood, right? Because people are like moms get it because like we've all been through it. So that's actually a really cool thing.
Yeah, I mean, life is not fair in terms of what y'all take on from pregnancy to the follow through relative to the lack of what the guy has to do. And
that's why they say if you got a hard job, call a girl.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable watching you, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm very, very, very proud of you.
The birthing process is hard. Like a lot of this stuff for moms is like hard. But it's it's also very natural. Like you just get through it. Like think back to like postpartum, trying to walk down the block. Hard. Beautiful. Really, really, really cool.
What was your favorite product I don't know if that was too abrupt of a transition.
No.
So let me reflect.
Reflect?
Because I want to double down. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
You're the best.
Thank you. I know my favorite product.
Okay, what was your favorite product too?
And it is
the
not
breastfeeding
close.
journey. Let's hear it.
The strapless pumping bra from Amazon. That thing it's unbelievable. I don't know how people do it if they don't have it. And I kept the pump parts in it constantly, and I kept it all in the refrigerator.
Number one hack that you would suggest to other mothers who are breastfeeding or pumping?
Do your own research, but they say you're supposed to wash your pump parts every 24 hours if you keep them in the refrigerator. I definitely stretched that. The moment you put them in the refrigerator, it can't grow bacteria. I really took that and ran with it. I'm not a germaphobe. And then the other thing is getting a mini fridge for our bedroom, and I would put my pump parts in there at night. It's phenomenal.
Most overrated product when it comes to pumping?
I have not found a portable pump yet that I think works.
How many did you try?
I tried 3. I did not try the Mom Cozy, which I will try next time. I think like that's the one I tell everybody. I'm like, try the Mom Cozy. I didn't. My portable pumps, they weren't good.
It was I think that's the number one thing that was bought that wasn't used that cost money.
I wanted it to work.
All the other things that we bought that like cost money generally work. Those portable pumps.
But our insurance covered the first one.
Didn't cover the second two, number 2 and 3.
Yeah, but a lot of people need to know this. Like if you go on there and you can claim one through your insurance.
Oof.
Do you remember door dashing the hand pump to the podcast studio in LA?
I've door dashed the hand pump now 3 times in a pinch. Like there is nothing worse than when you're sitting there and your boobs are full and starting to leak. Like it's awful. It's also isolating because you're oftentimes the only one in the room. And then you're just like, well, I'm SOL, but that hand pump is great. Oh, it's great. It's better than the portable pumps. No question.
Thing that surprised you most about breastfeeding?
How mentally taxing it was. The physical, not so much, but the mental side of it, I had no idea.
It's just never ended.
I cannot tell you what it feels like to wake up and just get out of bed. I used to wake up and Harrison and Tate would be like, do you want to go on a walk to get a coffee? And I'd be like, yeah, in 30 minutes. And it's just like every morning. And then like you're exhausted. You put everybody to bed. You clean the house. No, pump. You got to pump. And then you got to take that milk downstairs, put it in a bottle, freeze it. Like
things you wish I did that I didn't do during the pumping journey.
There really wasn't anything. You know, like whenever I cut the nighttime pump, you had talked to your sister. I was pumping in the middle of the night and I was scrolling on my phone. And let me just tell you, like, that was when my postpartum depression was at its worst. And I'm sure that had a big handle in it. And you just said, hey, I did some research. I also talked to my sister. If you cut this nighttime pump, you will produce the same amount in the morning. And I was like, okay, like, and I remember we were in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I was like, we'll try it for one night and we'll see. And you were like, okay, like I slept like a rock. I woke up, I produced the same amount of milk, and your boobs can do it. And like that, not looking at my phone in the middle of the night made a huge difference.
That was a massive turning point in terms of, it felt like your energy levels was when you started getting that full night's sleep. And it's really tricky because as the guy, like, you know, you don't want to be out there and you know, you want to be the supportive partner, and like you don't want to overstep your...
No, but that wasn't overstepping. That was what was good for me.
Yeah, but hearing, you know, or picking the spots on when to kind of share your opinion and when to sit back and play support was always tricky. And I definitely thank my sister for that, because I felt her telling me, based off her observation, her experience, and what she would have wanted to hear at the time, gave me the conviction on speaking up. When for a lot of the other stuff, I was
I don't know that
supporting
I
you
would
on
have
the
known.
sideline.
I don't know that I would have known I would have produced the same amount. Like, and so I cut it at 4 months, and then I remember we get back from Hawaii, and like that's when I could go to the gym. That's when I really turned a corner. Because when you're not sleeping, like, you know, it's really good for us to sleep 8 hours a night, right? Mm-hmm. When you're not doing that for 4 months in a row, your mental health does tank a bit.
Mm-hmm, for sure. And so how do you want to, you know, what are the final words that you think our listeners should hear on the holistic pumping journey?
Yeah, and then we'll go to things we DM'd. But I would just say the body's incredible, and pregnancy and producing milk. Like, one thing that this kind of, for me, pregnancy was way harder, right? But I love what you asked me, which was, which one was harder? Was it pregnancy, or is it the breastfeeding journey? And a lot of people find the breastfeeding journey to be harder. For me, pregnancy was just like so tough. But both they're this like beautiful thing that your body's able to do. And I don't know how to explain it, because, you know, as a guy, you might be listening to this thinking, well, why would you keep doing it? And it's just like, that's what you want to do. Like, that's what you choose to do. And so whatever people choose to do that are listening, if you choose to do 100% formula, combo feed from the beginning, 1 day of breastfeeding, try it and decide it's not for you. It's totally your journey. And I think that to each their own. And I think every journey is beautiful. I think as long as you have a fed baby, then you have a happy mom and you have a happy baby. And it's like, that is so perfect. And I wish more people appreciated that. But yeah, I think this was just a recount of my journey.
Well,
the ups and the downs.
I thank you very much for sharing. I feel like I kind of interviewed you here.
Towards the end of it.
Am I the interviewer?
You could be the interviewer and move us on to things we DM.
No, it's amazing what you've handled as a mother, and
thank you.
Once again, I'm very proud of you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on to things we DM'd. I actually know the first one. So The first one is Matthew McConaughey said that a queen bed is the key to a happy marriage.
All-time bad take.
So I think it's ironic for you to call it a bad take for somebody who sleeps in the middle of the bed, because you always say, I just want to be close to you. I think you'd love a queen bed.
You need to be able to have the space if you need it. You really do. You really do. When, like, I think a king bed, I want to see the studies on the divorce rates of people who sleep in queen beds versus king beds. King beds, it is just a way better sleeping experience. You have the optionality to come in and cuddle, the optionality to
totally
sprawl out, and I think
I completely agree. It's just a lot of times you sleep in the middle.
But I have the option to sleep in the middle, and then you push me out and you push me to my corner.
I do. I push you because I get hot and cold, and I'm just like, get over there. Get on over there.
Yeah. No, that is.
What do you think about sleeping in two separate beds like they used to do back in the old days?
I am so against this.
Me too. What's the point?
Look, I love going to sleep with you, and I love waking up with you.
I would hate two separate beds. They used to have separate rooms, I
think. And I love like our midnight interactions.
Yeah.
Like someone's like kind of puttering over to the bathroom, and there's like the little noises and.
No, it's our room.
Yeah.
Our bed.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Okay. The second one is from GQ, and it said, wedding tip, never put optional on your dress code. Either make your guests wear black tie or don't. The wishy-washiness confuses everybody. And I've never thought about it, but when I get an invite that says black tie optional, I immediately have to ask everybody else going, like, are you wearing black tie or not? Like, are we doing it or are we not doing it?
I totally agree. Give the guidance. Now, when it comes to our wedding, and I'm going to want you to beep this, I have a suggestion for at least one of the nights, and I would like people to wear, like, and I want to be very specific with it, where you got to wear and a I think that should be like the theme. So I love very specific theme, and I'm very pro, like, going outside of black tie.
Love it.
Like,
I love it.
You're not allowed in the party if you do not have on or a on.
I also really love a juxtaposition. So I love a black tie at a like, I think that's really cool.
I agree, but I'm trying to push outside of just this, like, I'm trying to push themed attire.
I looked up some things for our wedding today. I need to give you a report, by the way.
Okay, let's hear.
Well, no, not here.
Okay.
But I do. I was looking up some venue things. I had some like cool ideas.
Okay.
A couple cool ideas
Did
brewing.
you look into my favorite venue?
I did. That's the first one I looked into.
Okay, and how
I
are
was
we
looking
looking
up
there?
capacities.
Promising or not promising?
Very promising.
Really? Did we get a price?
No, I didn't get a price yet. I looked at the menu and things. Like, I think I have a ballpark price, but I do think, like, I got to talk to you about some just logistically what I'm thinking there.
Love it.
Okay, so let's wrap up there. That's the Milky episode. Milky and food episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't cover a lot of the food, and maybe we can talk about that at a future time.
Yeah, we could do another episode on solids.
Love it. Well, thank you for listening.
Thank you guys for listening. Love you.
Alex, you're the MVP. Love you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Two Parents in a Podcast powered by Just Media House. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Stay connected on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook at Two Parents in a Pod. Welcome to our home. Sorry it's so messy. New episodes Mondays and Thursdays.